Hello, Riders and Rangers. Before we start, because it might offend certain viewers, I've been suggested to rename this series to Reimagined Power Rangers. Thank you for joining us to Reimagined MMPR Season 2. Without further ado,
it's Morphin time!
The Green Candle arc, Tommy eventually losing his Green Ranger powers, should be established ever since he joined Zordon's side. Despite the Rangers gaining two powerful allies, there is a lingering danger where Tommy is a ticking time bomb or a jet running low on fuel but the fuel gauge is hidden. We all know he will eventually lose all his powers. The stakes are high. Dragonzord coin gives Tommy his powers, but because the powers originated from Rita, it is limited. Zordon warns Tommy to use his powers sparingly and only calls him in when the team absolutely needs it. Green Ranger's days are at a countdown, so when all 6 Rangers morph together, the audiences know they're in for a crazy episode. But Tommy still stays in the command center to help strategize here and there, training and sparring with fellow Rangers like interning to be a mentor. The limited power has been Rita's contingency plan. Furthermore, since the beginning, Babu's mind control potion over Tommy has a safety switch. Whenever Tommy has the Green Ranger powers, despite being unmorphed, it actually slowed his thinking even after the mind control spell was broken. Such unwise decisions include Tommy always leaves his communicator behind and getting into unnecessary arguments to be the leader because the potion fogs his mind. At the end, even though Rita speeds up draining Tommy's powers with the green candle, Tommy's intelligence is back to 100% when the spell is completely gone. But before Rita could take control of the Dragonzord, Tommy passed his Dragonzord coin, dagger, and shield to Jason, so the Rangers could still control the Dragonzord before it fell to Rita's hands. The Dragonzord's powers are also limited, and it will eventually lose its powers as well. It was near summer when Tommy lost his Green Ranger powers for good. He left Angel Grove after the end of the year dance with Kimberly. Jason had a hard time leading the team. Zach and Trini helped Jason to snap back from all the self-blaming and despair of failing Tommy. Jason originally wants to step down as a Ranger and leave the team due to guilt. Zach showed Jason, even though he has failed Tommy, he has not failed the rest of the team. Setbacks happen. Nobody is perfect. Trini encourages Jason to stay on as leader as well. Once Jason receives a letter from Tommy telling him not to sweat it, Jason gets over his biggest failure. During this time, the Dragonzord also has an arc as he misses Tommy a lot, like a dog missing their owner. In time, Jason and Dragonzord consolidated with each other and became a good team. After Jason got over the self-blaming and Dragonzord fully entrusting him, Jason was able to morph directly into the armored Tyranno Ranger to show he is the true successor of the Dragon Shield. Thunderzord arc, Rita's boss, Lord Zedd, sees her incompetent in taking over the Earth and excommunicates her. He lost his patience after 10,000 years of waiting for Earth to be conquered. Zedd needs Earth to be conquered because Earth is on the other side of the demon portal. When the planet is within Zedd's control, they can open a portal into the entrance of the underworld so he can recruit demons living in a pocket dimension. The only doorway to the demonic realm is through a conquered Earth. What Zordon did for the past 10,000 years was to prevent Rita from transforming Earth into a key to open the pocket dimension. If it happens, Earth becomes a black hole, and everything on the planet will be lost forever. All the Zords have been disabled by Lord Zedd's Monster of the Day. That monster also destroyed the Rangers' power crystals and thunder slingers. Sadly, this also meant the spirit of the Dino Ranger died in battle. The Megazord can never be formed again, unless there's a crossover Morph-X explanation, nudge nudge, wink wink. Each Ranger needs to have their own solo quest to gain an upgrade of their Zords through trial and tribulation. Unfortunately, the Dragonzord cannot make more room for an upgrade because it is at its final evolved form, since the Dragonzord originally was the Parasaur Zord. With Lord Zedd badly damaging the Dragonzord while it tries to defend the other disabled Zords, the Dragonzord is barely hanging to life. During the final battle with Dragonzord in the earlier episode, it was blasted by the Monster of the Day, which glasses some of its scales. One of the scales turned into a jewel. At its most weakened state, Jason returns the Dragonzord coin to the Dragonzord. With the amount of powers within the coin, at least it could keep it alive yet in a comatose state. It would take a long time for the Dragonzord to heal. Jason can no longer use the Dragonzord powers. This arc will be a spiritual journey where Zordon has found 5 dormant yet powerful spirits of thunder. These are the creators of the Thunder Slingers. These spirits will need to screen each of the teenagers to see if they are truly worthy to gain their full power. The spirit would merge the remnant of the crystal bits and thunder slingers to create the thunder orbs. Meanwhile, Lord Zedd sends his minions to hunt each ranger down and sabotage their journey. Titanus remained dormant during this time as it was stabilizing Dragonzord from its wounds. Zack's journey. Squat was sent to hunt down Zack. He released an army of spiders in the cave where the Emerald Spirit is located. Zack overcomes his childhood fear. He outsmarts Squat, who accidentally sends the army of spiders to web himself up instead of Zack. Our hero was able to retrieve the Lion Thunder Orb bestowed by the Thunder Spirit of Courage. As the Black Ranger, Zack will bring others out of the fear of darkness with the courage of the lion. Billy's quest. He encounters a strange talking young deer baby who wishes to teach him an important lesson despite her short, fragile life while he is being hunted by Finster and Babu. Finster and Babu were about to capture Billy, but Finster has a revelation. He revealed to Babu that his loyalty is still to Rita, and Babu shared the same sentiment. Perhaps having a stronger group of Rangers may make them relevant to Lord Zedd's use again. Thus, the two decided to half-heartedly accomplish their task and just terrorize the nature park that Billy was in. In time, Billy warded off the two minions through protecting nature. He gains his powers by learning his new achievement is about protecting not just humans, but all creatures, big and small, on Earth. The baby deer is the embodiment of the Sapphire Thunder Spirit of all life. He earns the Unicorn Thunder Orb. Kimberly and Trini. While they were searching for the orb, the two were hunted by Scorpina. During this time, the two spirits turned the girls against each other by transforming them into conjoined human putty hybrids, horrifying and being jeered at by bystanders. This was a test by the spirits. Although the two wanted to give up at first, the two motivated each other to be determined and retrieve their orbs by powering through this peer pressure. At the end, with their hearts together, they were able to morph into a pink and yellow Ranger hybrid, thwarting Scorpina. Then they obtained their respective Thunder Orbs, Firebird Cortez and Griffin Amber, which nullified the Spirit's transformation. The two spirits represent the powers of friendship and teamwork. Jason's trek. Being hunted by Goldar while traveling to the Nogard waterfall to find his orb, he encounters many obstacles and later was rescued by a mysterious armored talisman before he fell off a cliff. He tells Jason he could help and gives him 4 power coins from his partners. These can summon his teammates, Kimberly, Billy, Trini, and Zack, to aid in reaching his goal. As each of these teammates falls one by one, either in the dangerous obstacles or Goldar's forces sacrificing themselves to help Jason continue on his journey, Jason shows his true colors. When given the choice between getting the Crimson Orb and saving his teammates, he chooses to leave this new power behind and rescue his teammates. Goldar reaches to grab the orb but is electrocuted, as it has been surrounded by a trap set by the armored talisman. Goldar retreats and the armored talisman appears, stating that if Jason had gone for the orb, Jason would have been electrocuted with negative proton energy, which would strip him of being able to become a Power Ranger ever again. All those teammates he has rescued are illusions, but Jason proved himself. This is the trial of the leader. Jason earns the Red Dragon Thunder Orb from the armored talisman, who is the Thunder Spirit of Leadership. The armored talisman is modeled after the Red Dragon Thunderzord warrior mode, and also gives him the power to create the Thunderzord Assault Formation, Thunder Megazord Arc. As it takes time for the Dinozords to be adjusted to the new powers, only the Tyrannosaurus Zord was able to adjust to the Thunder powers as the Red Dragon Thunderzord. For a while, they only used the Crimson Thunderzord's warrior mode when battling giant monsters. In time, the other Dinozords were able to join together to create the Thunderzord Assault Team. However, they still were unable to create the Thunder Megazord yet. With that, they need a huge power surge. As Lord Zedd is too busy fending off other legions trying to take over his other space territories, he calls in the powerful Dengig Tai that has the power to revive fallen monsters, so Zedd can ensure his monsters can be revived every time they are destroyed in the future. But Dengig Tai revived 4 of Lord Zedd's monsters and claims he does not approve of how Rita was treated. The 5 of them mutinied against Zedd, however the evil warlord is much more powerful. Thus Zedd exiled these 5 monsters to Earth in hopes to cause as much chaos and destruction as possible while he is away. The Rangers were alerted to their presence and the 5 monsters easily defeated the Rangers. But through determination, the Rangers were to push back and escape. Trini, seeing how the monsters were empowered by Lord Zedd's staff, the power-up looked similar. She asked Billy to take samples of the energy signals of the monsters. Trini and Billy analyzed and found the monster's energy signals parallel to the Thunder Spirits, implying Zedd could have been a corrupted Thunder Spirit. Trini came up with the idea to absorb the monster's powers, which could then be strong enough to power up to form the Thunder Megazord. Alpha and Billy engineered and executed her idea. The Thunder Zords now have lightning rods installed that can absorb Zedd's monster's residue energies. The next time the Rangers encountered the 5 monsters, thanks to Tommy's guidance and strategizing, the Rangers were able to defeat the monsters and tried to absorb the monsters' thunder powers. Not willing to give up until they avenged Rita and fallen comrades, the monsters grew in size and the Rangers tried to fight back in the Thunder Zord assault team, but were not as effective. The monsters were able to beat up the Zords badly and send in a lot of damages. The rods were not working because the residue energy was too little. When Zedd returns, he realized what the Rangers were doing and decides to power up the Thunder Zord himself so the monsters could be destroyed. Finster asked why. Zedd said this can help him take data from the Thunder Zords for a new project, and the Rangers could help him execute the traitors.
After enough threshold of powers were absorbed, Trini and Billy unleashed the thunder powers they've collected, heals the Thunder Zords, and were able to form the Thunder Megazord. Seeing how ineffective it was to send in 5 monsters at once, Lord Zedd decides never send in multiple monsters ever again. Realizing the Zords have an upgrade on absorbing his thunder powers, it gives him an idea in the long run. Have the Zords absorb his energy, and Zedd is going to collect data of the Thunder Zords for his diabolical pet project. In the meantime, the Zords able to absorb powers give the traitorous Finster and Babu an idea. White Ranger Power Arc. After the Green Ranger powers were decimated, Alpha and Zordon have been trying to develop new Ranger powers. It took a while until they finally found the 6th spirit of the Earth, and only Titanus was powerful to contain them. Thus, these powers are white. During Tommy's long absence, Zordon has secretly sent him on his spiritual quest to seek out the snowy-colored orb. Once Tommy reaches the top of the highest peak of the icy mountain as Zordon has instructed, he was greeted by a figure in a tiger mask. Ornate robes and headdress, it presents itself as the White Tiger Spirit. The Pearly Phantom asks Tommy to join him, and together with the powers, they can rule the Earth side by side. With the White Tiger Zord powers, Tommy can be a rich celebrity after he reveals his identity to the world. Tommy turned down the chance for fame and fortune. The white-clad ghoul begs him to use its thunder energies and bring the fight to Lord Zedd's moon base. Tommy said that's escalating the battle and goes against Zordon's rules. He explains Zedd has a scorched earth policy. If the moon base ever gets attacked, Zedd won't hesitate to lose the chance of gaining his demon army and destroy the planet by just a flick of his Z-staff. The soul of the White Tiger says this world is so weak they can let Lord Zedd destroy the Earth and then remake it to Tommy's own image. Tommy refuses to sacrifice the Earth just to fight evil through evil means. The spirit chuckles they can destroy Zordon. Zordon has influenced Tommy, the once great and mighty Green Ranger, into a weaker shadow of his former self. Humanity and mercy make the Rangers weaker than ever. After hearing all this ambitious, power-hungry, and inhumane suggestions, Tommy sighs and shakes his head. He turned down the White Tiger powers. He told the spirit he will never use the powers for evil. The chalk-white figure transforms into a ferocious white tiger and attacks Tommy. Tommy defends himself from the White Tiger spirit. Tommy puts up a good fight, but he is dominated by the powers of the White Tiger. The Phantom claims Tommy needs his powers, but Tommy still refuses to gain any power for evil. Never again. The spirit then lets go of Tommy and says he has passed the trial. The spirit transforms into a chalky crystal orb and a new power coin. The Thunder Spirit is derived from light and cleanses all darkness. It can never be used by evil forces. Could never be stolen again. If Tommy gets corrupted, the powers will never function for him. Tommy has gained the White Tiger Thunder Orb and Tiger Zord coin. The White Tiger is the spirit of a mentor. So, Zordon is preparing Tommy to be a righteous mentor. Brachio power. Oh wait, I'm a few seasons too soon, huh? By the end of this arc, Tommy becomes the mighty Morphin White Ranger. Using a battery as an analogy, the power of thunder spirits are like electricity. The Zords are the capacitors containing it so it won't overcharge the Ranger. When Tommy calls upon his Tiger Zord, Titanus is struck by thunder and transforms into the Tiger Zord. However, at first it took a while for the White Tiger Zord to be adjusted to its current state, as it is more used to being a carrier Zord for the past 10,000 years. The White Tiger Spirit also guides Tommy in the form of his personalized weapon, Saba. Lord Zedd's monsters. There are about 50 of Lord Zedd's sleeping agents placed all over the Earth since Rita's first invasion. Criminals from Zordon and Zedd's homeworld of Eltar. Their ages ranging between 16 Earth years to ancient. These agents are recruited by Zedd to collect data of Rita and Zordon for him when he wants to invade. Zedd has done this to many planets he saw on his invasion menu, including Aquitar and Triforia. These fallen Eltarians swore loyalty to Lord Zedd and were hiding in plain sight in either human forms or unsuspecting items. The items alter its forms as time passes by with a similar theme. For example, 1,000 years ago, Dengig Tai used to be ancient Chinese cards called Madiao. Now, in modern times, it is disguised as poker cards. But to avoid them from planning a resurrection against Zedd, the Warlord nerfed all the monsters' powers and only gives them a power-up when he calls upon them, as seen with Dengig Tai's insurgency. Without Lord Zedd's powers, the Zedd monsters hold little powers and are usually dormant or sleeping agents. It isn't until the monsters are struck by Zedd's staff, then they are charged up to its full potential to fight, making Babu and Finster feel obsolete and useless. However, each time Zedd does this, a fraction of his life force is used, draining him to the point he needs to hibernate at some point. The Zedd monsters' personalities are unusually cruel for no reason. If you get randomly bullied by a classmate or teacher or that Karen customer, it's probably one of the Zedd monsters in disguise. One of Zedd's monsters is a white cat, used to spy on the Rangers in the neighborhood. You probably figured out who this is already. Tore the Shuttle Zord arc. Remember one of Dragonzord's scale got glazed into a jewel? Skull found it, and because he didn't know what to give Bulk for his birthday, he decides to take up a craftsmanship class, polished, and gave it to Bulk as his birthday gift. In time, it gave Bulk a new personality, which is stoic and fair that confuses the two but impressed everyone else. This is like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality, unleashing Bulk's true feelings of doing good without any personal gains or selfish agendas, but because he cares for others, inspired by the Power Rangers. During a giant monster battle with the Thunderzords, Bulk and Skull are trying to help civilians from falling debris. The two rushed out to shield civilians. Bulk was in between his most stressful state and heroic moment, which unleashed the power of the jewel. The moment before Bulk gets crushed by a giant pillar, in that blink of a second, Bulk wishes he has a giant shell that could protect people. Without warning, the jewel transforms Bulk into Tor the Shuttle Zord. Intuitively, Bulk allied himself with the Rangers, despite not knowing who the Rangers were. The Shuttle Zord has some of the chaos energy of the Dragonzord. Thus, it is green, but it also leeches energy from Zedd's monsters, providing perpetual recharging within him and the rest of the Zords. With the excess energy absorbed from Lord Zedd's monsters, the Thunderzords could form the Thunder Ultrazord. The excess powers are transferred into the Shuttle Zord, which also acts as a medical chamber to heal and re-energize Zords. Skull knows of this and helps Bulk keep this Zord identity a secret. At first, Skull resents Bulk for being a super tank and feels less of himself when being next to Bulk for being able to help the Rangers. But the two settles the drama after Bulk tells Skull his true feelings. It is Skull who inspired him to do good. Without Skull, he would not have seen the importance of friendship and the Rangers' values, which makes him care more for everyone. Skull makes him a bigger person, with the metaphor of Skull giving Bulk the power jewel, turned him into a hero. Peace Conference Arc. During the introduction of Rocky, Aisha, and Adam, we should let the new members slowly bond with the old team. Let there be conflicts and have them be resolved by understanding each other's differences. Tommy did not replace Jason as the leader until he left for the peace conference. Using the data he has collected from the Thunderzords, Zedd sends in a dark wizard to alter time and create a clone Tommy. Zedd cloned the White Tiger Zord powers as well, but it failed. Thus, Zedd used half of his life force to create a Dragonzord coin, sparking the Green Ranger versus White Ranger conflict. When the saga was over, Zedd got what he wanted, the coordinates of the dormant Dragonzord. However, the Dragonzord was too weak to fight, thus still remains in hibernation. Seeing this as his new opportunity and with enough powers he has been saving, Zedd broke the laws of Zord evolution. Zord gambled it all and used 90% of his powers to clone the Dragonzord the way he cloned Tommy and gave it the 4th upgrade, turning the Dragonzord duplicate into Serpentera. It has been increased in size and power, even giving it the power of flight. This cloning, upgrading, and constant mind control over the godlike Zord, fortunately, exhausts Zedd, which affected his leadership skills and powers, turning him into a joke. This may also explain why Zedd cannot always power up Serpentera. The new Zord is powerful, but not always efficient. It needs a lot of recharging. Speaking of the peace conference, when the 3 new members of Rocky, Aisha, and Adam became the Rangers, they were tested by the 3 respective Thunder Spirits. Their task was to retrieve the Sword of Light for the power transfer. In their journey, the 3 were tempted to turn on each other, faced obstacles, and were tested in courage. However, at the end, the 3 new heroes succeeded in retrieving the Sword of Light. However, more energy was needed to have a power transfer of the Thunder Spirits. Zedd's ego sabotaged his attempt to sabotage Rocky, Aisha, and Adam's task to retrieve the sword. Even when faced with the death of the godlike Zord, The three showed more bravery than what the Thunder Spirits could ever had imagined, thus were accepted by the Thunder Spirits. But as the power transfer still lacked energy. Therefore, the Thunder Spirits decides to cross into the Rangers' realm of reality and directly bond with the current team of Rangers, as the Tiger Spirit had bonded with Tommy. This event transmutated the 5 power coins. Jason, Trini, and Zach kept the Jew Ranger suits. But for the new team, out with the Jew Ranger suits, in with the Die Ranger suits. However, this spirit bonding makes the Thunder Spirits vulnerable, for now they are in the battle rather than just powering the Rangers up. They are no longer immortal, which shows how much is at stake here with Zedd. Each new member is quite different. If possible, I'd like to make the new team members as different to the original 3 as much as possible than the actual TV series, including their Rangers colors. I'd like Adam to be the Red Dragon Ranger, Rocky is the Yellow Griffin Ranger, and Aisha is the Green Lion Ranger. Rest of the Rangers remain to their respective colors. Tommy is the White Tiger Ranger, Billy is Blue-Winged Unicorn Ranger, and Kimberly is the Pink Firebird Ranger. Aisha is an animal lover and volunteers after animal shelter. She's the most popular girl in school, making her a student president and the heart of the team. But her biggest problem she has to overcome would be being a perfectionist. Her high demand of others to be perfect 100% all the time clashes with the laid-back Rocky. The two learns to sort their differences through balance throughout the season. Fan of promoting healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle, Rocky teaches cooking class at school, basically became best friends with Kimberly. The two share their interests in being gymnastic enthusiasts. From him, Kimberly learns to balance between love life and friendship. She learns how to divide her time not to just be with her boyfriend Tommy 24/7, but can actually hang out with her friends. Tommy got jealous of Rocky being with Kimberly at first, but learns to trust Kimberly. Later, Kimberly also teaches Rocky how to get a girlfriend. An underdog soccer goalie who uses his boxing skills and captain of the recycling club, Adam later became close best friends with Billy. As Billy's Season 1 arc is to learn to be a martial artist. While Adam is trying his best not to revolve his life around boxing his dad has indoctrinated in him. Adam's dad wants him to become a national boxer, which puts him under a lot of pressure and discourages him away from playing soccer. Adam later learned how to balance time in his craft and what he is passionate about thanks to Billy Overtime. Adam also learned about overcome the feeling of being underappreciated because goalies are not that well beloved no matter how good they are. That is how Billy used to feel in class as his top academia does not seem to resonate with anyone else. Squat, Babu and Finster's character arc throughout Season 2. During Rita's exile, Babu placed a potion on the dumpster which would make it boomerang back to the moon base before Zedd tossed it to the edge of the galaxy. While working under Zedd, Babu and Finster feel obsolete with how powerful Zedd was. The two lament for Rita's return to feel useful again. The two have been secretly sabotaging Zedd's monsters to make them have pathetic weak points, so maybe Zedd would appoint these two to make monsters when Eltar criminals run out. For example, Finster deliberately created weak points on the Z putties, where they'll fall apart after being punched on the Z part of the chest. Babu placed an anemophobia potion on a number of Zedd monsters to be highly vulnerable to wind-based spin attacks. Example would be Pipe Brain and Lip Syncer. Finster also sabotaged Serpentera to drain its batteries, collecting it and sending it to the White Tiger Zord and Tor Shuttle Zord on purpose. The two hope to be relevant henchmen again. Later, with Babu's prediction, Zedd indeed fell into a deep hibernation sleep after wasting so much energy on creating Serpentera. When Rita finally returns just as Babu predicted, she instructs him and Finster to create the love potion in the subsequent season for Rita to control Lord Zedd. With Rita by Zedd's side, she decided not to use Serpentera unless they really need to conserve energy. Serpentera is just Zedd's ego vanity project, as if he wants to compare Zord sizes with Zordon. Finster and Babu work together to make stronger monsters than before to compete with Zedd's exiles. So here's MMPR Season 2 Reimagined. I hope you like it. Personally, I love the Die Ranger suits and Thunderzords. Those are my favorite Sentai designs. Period. I am more than happy to include the Die Ranger suits into Season 2. And hey, our first Asian Red Ranger, how cool is that? Nah, that's not going to happen in real life, so how would you have handled the Die Ranger suits? Would you have included it into your version? Let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.